Hello, this is News Mongolian MNB World. I am your host, Jugde Rambold. And for our top stories. Unchecked use of additives poses challenges in Mongolian food production. The English language teachers from secondary schools are participating in Pearson training. Ministry of Foreign Affairs receives German ambassador to Mongolia. For other news, stay with us. In the realm of mass food production, including Mongolia, the widespread use of food additives labeled with an E is commonplace. However, a concerning revelation has emerged over the past decade: the lack of control and assessment, specifically focused on these E additives in Mongolia's food production. Despite their ubiquitous presence in the production facilities of Mongolia, where conveyor belts hem with efficiency and packages are prepared for distribution, the oversight on E additives raises questions about the potential implications for public health and safety.
It is crucial for authorities to recognize the need for comprehensive studies and monitoring programs focused specifically on E-additives in Mongolian food production industry. Such initiatives would not only provide insights into the safety of these additives, but also empower consumers with the knowledge needed to make informed choices about the food they consume. We currently do not conduct specific revisions solely focused on individual food additives. Our revision processes primarily target broader categories of food products. Typically, we ensure compliance with standards by verifying if the food products incorporate permissible additives as outlined in the standards. However, it's important to note that, regrettably, recent assessments have revealed a lapse in such control measures, and specific evaluations of permitted food additives have not been conducted as of late. While E-additives play various roles in enhancing the characteristics of food products, there are some cons associated with their use, including health effects. Certain E-additives have raised health concerns. For example, some artificial colorants E100 to E199 and sweeteners E900 to E999 may trigger allergic reactions or sensitivity in some individuals. Additionally, studies have raised questions about the potential long-term health effects of certain additives, including cancer. The absence of a comprehensive regulatory framework leaves a gap in understanding the impact of these additives on the local population, emphasizing the need for urgent studies and monitoring programs to ensure the safety of the food supply chain.
In a strategic move to bolster English language education, some 61 teachers from state-owned schools are utilizing the student vacation period to participate in a skills enhancement training workshop facilitated by the renowned Pearson program.
Thanks to the Pearson program, a lot of material progress was observed, such as the comprehensive refurbishment of the language laboratory and the introduction of cutting-edge tools and equipment. What distinguishes the Pearson program is its unique emphasis on delivering the English language curriculum exclusively in English, a departure from the previous approach conducted in the native Mongolian language. This strategic shift not only cultivates a more immersive learning experience, but also empowers students to attain a level of English language proficiency that resonates on an international scale.
In general, we started introducing the Pearson program on September the 1st. The program includes both in-class and online training. Initially, parents and students experienced some confusion. I believe my students are making progress because the Pearson program offers effective teaching methods and incorporates innovative assessment principles. Having been trained as master teachers, we are now capable of providing training to other teachers as well.
Please take a look at current affairs of Mongolia.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Batstuk Batmuch welcomed Ambassador Helmut Rudolf Kulitz from the Federal Republic of Germany to Mongolia. Minister Batstuk expressed her contentment with the substantial progress in relations and collaboration between Mongolia and Germany under the Comprehensive Partnership Framework. She highlighted the significant outcomes of various crucial visits and meetings that have taken place between the two countries in recent years. Emphasizing the upcoming 50th anniversary of diplomatic relations this year, the minister underscored the intention to commemorate it extensively. She stressed the importance of facilitating high-level mutual visits to enhance the overall relationship between Mongolia and Germany. Ambassador Kulitz affirmed his dedication to strengthening the ties between the two nations during this historic anniversary year. He emphasized the joint planning of numerous significant tasks and measures to be implemented. It is worth noting that Ambassador Kulitz officially presented his credentials to President Hurulsughna of Mongolia in August. With a wealth of diplomatic experience dating back to 1992, he has served in various diplomatic missions of Germany across Egypt, Bulgaria, Austria, Congo, and Niger, including roles as ambassador to Chad and Afghanistan.
Please take a look at currency exchange rates provided by the Mongol Bank. Now here comes foreign news partnered with international news agencies. On an urgent mission aimed primarily at preventing the Israel-Hamas conflict from spreading into a regional war, U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken met with Israel's foreign ministry in Tel Aviv on Tuesday.
First of all, you're welcome here
In his fourth visit to Israel since the October 7th Hamas attack, Blinken is tasked to de-escalate conflict following meetings with leaders from 4 key Arab nations and Turkey. In a meeting with the U.S. Secretary, Israel Katz compared the incursion that killed about 1,200 people in the cross-border assault on the Holocaust.
First of all, you're welcome here in your 5th visit in Israel.
Thank you.
This time. And first of all, I want to thank President Biden and you personally and all the Biden administration about the ordinary support which you gave to Israel. As we said a lot of times, Israel don't have a better friend and ally than the United States all over the world, and the United States don't have a better friend than Israel in this area. And we faced horrible slaughter in the south of Israel. You know, when we are saying that it's like ISIS be eliminated, because it's Warsaw. From the days of the Nazis, it wasn't a thing like this. My parents that passed away was a Holocaust survivor, and I remember the stories.
Arab states have been highly critical of Israel's actions and had eschewed public support for long-term planning, arguing that the fighting must end before such discussions can begin. They have been demanding a ceasefire since mid-October as civilian casualties began to skyrocket. More than 23,000 Palestinians have been killed, according to Palestinian authorities' information, about 2/3 of them women and children, and more than 58,000 wounded since the war began.
And I remember the stories.
South Korea's parliament on Tuesday endorsed landmark legislation outlawing dog meat consumption, a centuries-old practice. The National Assembly passed the bill by a 208-0 vote to become a law after it's endorsed by the Cabinet Council and signed by South Korea's President Yoon Suk-yeol.
The steps are considered a formality as Yoon's government supports the ban. The bill would make the slaughtering, breeding, trade and sales of dog meat for human consumption illegal from 2027 and punish such acts with 2 to 3 years in prison. Efforts to ban dog meat consumption have faced fierce resistance from farmers and others in South Korea's dwindling dog meat industry. Recent surveys show a majority of South Koreans don't eat dog meat anymore, but the surveys also indicated 1 in every 3 South Koreans still oppose the ban even though they don't eat dog meat. There is no reliable official data on the exact size of South Korea's dog meat industry. Activists and farmers say hundreds of thousands of dogs are slaughtered for meat each year in South Korea.
A mammoth crowd of mostly barefoot Catholic devotees joined the Catholic procession through downtown Manila Tuesday to venerate centuries-old black statue of Jesus Christ, with many praying for peace in the Middle East, where Filipino relatives work.
One police estimate placed the number of devotees mostly clad in maroon shirts with the image of the Black Nazarene at more than 2 million in the early morning hours of the wooden statue procession, which was resumed after a 3-year suspension due to the coronavirus pandemic. The police crowd estimate could not immediately be independently confirmed. One of the Asia's biggest religious events, the procession was being held under extra tight security following a December 3rd bombing that killed 4 people and wounded dozens of Catholic worshippers who attended a mass in a university in the southern Philippines. President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. blamed foreign terrorists for the attack, which sparked a security alarm. Thousands of policemen and plainclothes intelligence officers were deployed, backed by drone surveillance and SWAT contingents posted on top of buildings along the road of the procession, which could drag up to midnight. Many roads were closed, cell phone signals were temporarily turned off, and backpacks were banned. The procession draws massive numbers of largely poor devotees who pray for the sick and a better life. This year, widespread fears that conflict between Israel and Hamas could spread in the Middle East were highlighted in the prayers of many worshippers. The killing of at least 2 Filipino workers in the October 7th Hamas rampage in southern Israel underscored the threats faced by foreign workers in Israel, where about 30,000 Filipinos, many of them caregivers looking after the ill, the elderly, and those with physical disabilities, work. The Nazarene statue is believed to have been brought from Mexico to Manila on a galleon in 1606 by Spanish missionaries. The ship that carried it caught fire, but the charred statue survived. Many devotees believe the statue's endurance from fires and earthquakes through the centuries and intense bombings during World War II is a testament to its miraculous powers. As the now fragile statue was paraded in Manila's Quaipa district, encased in glass for the first time to protect it from being damaged, barefoot devotees squeezed their way through the crowd around the slow-moving carriage and threw towels at volunteers, who wiped them on the glass case and an exposed part of the cross in the belief that the Nazarene's powers would cure ailments and ensure good health and a way out of life of misery. The spectacle reflects the unique brand of Catholicism, which includes folk superstitions in Asia's largest Catholic nation. Dozens of Filipinos have themselves nailed to crosses on Good Friday, in another unusual tradition to emulate Christ's suffering that draws huge crowds of worshippers and tourists each year.
Please take a look at international current affairs.
An Alaska Airlines jetliner blew out a portion of its fuselage 7 minutes after takeoff 3 miles above Oregon last week, forcing the pilots to make an emergency landing. None of the 171 passengers or 6 crew members were seriously injured, but the rapid loss of cabin pressure caused oxygen masks to drop from the ceiling. The Federal Aviation Administration ordered the grounding of some Boeing MAX 9 operated by U.S. airlines or flown into the country by foreign carriers until they are inspected. The emergency order affects about 171 planes worldwide. The incident has also renewed questions about the safety of Boeing's MAX aircraft, which the newest version of the company's storied 737. There are 2 versions of the aircraft in service, the MAX 8 and the MAX 9, which is the larger of the 2. Regulators around the world grounded MAX 8 planes for nearly 2 years after a Lion Air flight crashed in Indonesia in 2018 and an Ethiopian Airlines MAX 8 crashed in 2019. Boeing changed an automated flight control system implicated in the crashes. Last year, the FAA told pilots to limit use of an anti-ice system on the MAX in dry conditions because of concern that inlets around the engines could overheat and break away, possibly striking the plane. And in December, Boeing told the airlines to inspect the planes for a possible loose bolt in the rudder control system. However, those past issues are unrelated to Friday's blowout, which is an exceedingly rare event in air travel.
Alright, that's all for today. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll see you next time with more news and updates. Have a nice day.